Hi, I'm Tasha Hoyt with Sassy Style, and I'm going to talk about one of my very favorite things on earth. I love chocolate and I love Diet Coke, but next in line is my spray paint. I love spray paint because you can transform anything with a quick coat of paint. And the key word in that sentence is quick. I'm a lazy person. Well, not all the time, but sometimes, and I like immediate results, and spray paint will give that to you. So I want to share with you today my favorite kind of spray paint, why I love it, how much it is, and what you can spray paint. So, like I said before, I'm opinionated. This is my favorite kind of paint. I prefer Rust-Oleum 2-time coverage paint. I feel it gives you the best coverage, and for the price you can't beat it. And it's like $3.44 a can. So I first want to tell you that you can paint fake wood furniture. You know, like the veneer bookcase stuff that everybody has? You can paint it, and it's quite simple. The thing that you need to do when you're going to cover a non-real wood surface is you want to use an oil-based primer. Okay, so your oil-based primer is Kiehl's primer, or they have one called Bullseye. You can pick whichever one you want. Make sure you give it a nice, good coat and let it dry completely before you add the spray paint. And after it's dried, the oil base, you can use any kind of water-based spray paint that you want on top of it. Now, if you're painting something like, say, this cutest typewriter, and it doesn't need to have an oil-based primer, you can just use a regular primer, and Rust-Oleum makes a regular primer in gray and white. Use gray for like reds, greens, blacks, and then use white for all the other colors. When you prime, just make sure that you give it a good even coverage. The reason why I love primer is because it will make most things that you paint look flawless. If you don't prime, you can tend to see some of those little imperfections. So I'm a primer girl. And the next thing is your colors. Now, Rust-Oleum 2-time coverage comes in a myriad of colors, but they don't have tons and tons to choose from. But the ones they do have are fantastic and great to have on hand. My favorite color that they make is heirloom white. All my finishes that I buy in spray paint is a satin, or if you want something really glossy, you can go ahead and go for the high gloss. But remember when you're spraying something with high gloss that it will show up any of the flaws in the piece. So if you have something that has been given some love or some texture to it, you don't want to go with a gloss, you want to go with a satin, okay? Now, my favorite tool to use with spray painting is this handy dandy Rust-Oleum little gun thing. It doesn't even have a name, it's a little gun thing. So, this is what you do, is you squeeze these little things right here, you squeeze it, you put it on your can of paint, make sure your nozzle's pointing forward, and then you can spray. So it acts like a paint gun instead of just a spray paint can. And plus it saves your finger from cramping up, because y'all know you've done that. All right, so after you have a piece painted and it's dried, my suggestion is to make sure that you give it a good coat of polyurethane. Now, because I paint inside and outside things, I like to use this spar urethane by Helsman. It is at Home Depot, and I get it in a semi and just spray everything really well. Like, for example, you can see in this picture, I spray painted all of the hardware in my kitchen. I did that with a can of Colonial Red spray paint, and then I did about 10 coats of the spar urethane on it. And I haven't had any chip, and I did it 3 years ago. So just make sure you give it, that's what the primer will do. It will help it so things last longer. So make sure you prime, paint, and then you poly it when you're done. Also, I redid my kitchen, and I spray painted a lot of things in there. Like I said, my hardware, I spray painted my bar stools, I spray painted my fridge, and I spray painted my hood above my stove. And I know that you all want to know what that is. So it's a different kind of paint, but Rust-Oleum makes it. And for all that information, you can head over to my blog, sassystyleredesign.com. I hope I've inspired you to pull out the can of spray paint and change something up. It's super simple, and you'll love it, I promise.